Depression is the ultimate enemy of progress.
Yeah, it hits home, it hits hard, and it makes you feel as though you are not worthy and you are not wanted or loved.
I remember not getting out of bed for 2 months.
Depression is a reality. Depression kills. Depression makes you feel worthless and lifeless.
Depression is not something a person could easily talk about because it's not really in black and white. It's more complicated than we think. There's nothing wrong with talking about it, and there's nothing wrong at the same time of not talking about it, but it's on how you handle it.
My father, he passed away and I blocked that out. I carried, because my father passed away in matric while I was writing my preliminary exams.
To me, depression is a state of mental being, mental existence, or spiritual being, where you feel mentally and spiritually or emotionally crippled to a point where you cannot do the things that you want to do, or you don't even know how to begin doing the things that you want to do, and getting out of bed is even a mission.
What I find difficult about the subject is that when it comes to getting help, these things are seen as taboo. And predominantly in communities of people of color, where I would say the most trauma is, therefore the most help is needed to repair the psychological damage of the effects of oppression and discrimination over the years.
We know as millennials that we've been dealing with bouts of depression for a very long time, but we didn't have the words for it because you didn't want to come off as sensitive or melodramatic to your parents. But I think the more we're giving the language and the tools, we can create a better society and better communities for the kids coming up under us.
A lot of people confuse depression with being sad or being stressed. Depression goes deeper than just feeling sad or feeling down. It is a chemical imbalance in your head or in your brain that is causing you to be depressed. Hence, there's antidepressants that are given.
I believe even with all the information and awareness that we have regarding mental health issues, there is still a stigma attached to it. The stigma that people with mental health issues are irrational, unstable, crazy, out of control, which is not the case.
I think it's very important for us as a society to commend the people who are struggling, fighting rather, their brains or their mental psyche, where their minds have become a weapon against themselves, against their dreams, against their being, against their families.
So whenever the subject of mental illness is brought, I always think of that. I always think of my grandmother. I always think of how we never knew much about depression until someone close suffered immensely from it.
This is something that I don't wish anybody to experience. I've been there, and I must say I've recovered, and I'm still getting there. I'm not 100%, but I'm getting there.
I didn't feel that I was enough or worthy enough to be in that space in that moment, that I spent a good year just avoiding people, avoiding friendships, sleeping, finding a way to incubate myself away from everything and everyone. And at that time, I just wish that there was a mental reminder that I needed at that time was you deserve, you're enough.
Surrounding yourself with positive friendships and relationships within your family, that's something that can really, really save you. So I just think that we need to try and expose ourselves to positive spaces, places where we don't feel like we're not doing enough, where we feel like we're not giving off enough.
But because I felt inadequate at some point, it all just seemed too far-fetched. And I quickly had to realize that if I don't get out of this mindset, then whatever it is that was happening the moment I came to that realization would continue for a very long time. And I yearned for a different experience.
I'd encourage individuals to really just journal. I'm still at the infancy of my healing, I must admit, but just journaling alone has done a lot for me to sort of lay my demons out on the table.
I think my best advice and something that has worked for me is trying to get out and volunteering and having a routine and convincing myself to first take a shower, and tackle the day from there on.
Yeah, it's a very difficult topic actually to speak about, but I really don't want it to be a taboo subject where we're not able to speak about our depression and anxieties. And I hope that through these series of short films that we are going to reveal to all of you, that they will give healing of some sort, I really hope that everyone can take something positive from these short films.
I just want to educate, people out there, on mental health. I want to educate our parents. I want to educate our family members. I want to educate our friends. I want to educate strangers, because sometimes in life we might say or do something, to someone without even realizing the cause, and the effects that it might have on the other person who's probably going through something, So yeah, that's just the goal of the film. I just want to share that message.